Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Buckeye Politics. It's me, your favorite Ohioan. So today we're going to be analyzing the 2022 Rhode Island gubernatorial election, how it may be actually relatively competitive, and how Republicans possibly have an opportunity for a pickup in the northeast region of the United States. Now, Rhode Island, for those of you who do not know, is a very Democratic-leaning state. It's voted for the Democrats for a very long time. It's part of sort of that northeast coastal liberal area, but it tends to be a little bit more pragmatic and a little bit more moderate than its neighbors. It's a lot more working class and not as college educated. A lot of the states in the northeast are very college educated. Obviously, they have a lot of universities up there. They're a lot more wealthy. Rhode Island's a little bit more working class, a little bit more blue collar of a state. But that said, it still tends to vote Democratic. But it tends to be a little bit more pragmatic. So looking at the 2022 governor election, not a lot of people are talking about this race, but it could be a very easy pickup for the Republican Party, and that's because the incumbent Democratic governor Dan McKee's approval rating is abysmal. It's trending downward horribly. So this survey, which it was conducted by the Morning Consult, which was done in conjunction with a local, like Providence, Rhode Island news station, found that 43% of Rhode Island voters disapprove of McKee's performance, and only 38% approve. He is the most hated of all the incumbent governors across all 50 states. Dan McKee, the governor of Rhode Island, is the least popular. Only 38% of Rhode Islanders approve. That said, if we go down here, which is the big one, of Democratic primary voters, only 45% said he was doing a good job. 44% he was doing a poor job. He's only above water by 1 point with Democratic voters. And if we go over to the Rhode Island Democratic primary, he is facing a very tough fight. He is actually pretty much in a dead heat with Nellie Gorbea. Nellie Gorbea, she's a lot more of a progressive candidate. She's endorsed by Emily's List and United Steelworkers, so she is a little bit more of a progressive type. That said, progressives don't usually tend to do too well in Rhode Island. Rhode Island's kind of a weird state politically, so I don't think Nellie Gorbea is going to win. But still, the fact that she is doing so well in the primary against the incumbent governor. Now, Dan McKee has actually not been elected governor. If we go back to Dan McKee was actually the lieutenant governor under Gina Raimondo, and Gina Raimondo, she was the governor of Rhode Island, and she was chosen by Biden to be the Secretary of Commerce, and so McKee, since he was the lieutenant governor, automatically became governor. So McKee has never been like the governor and he's never been on the ballot as the governor before. So a lot of Rhode Islanders, they never elected him before. He's kind of just there, and a lot of Rhode Islanders really don't like what he's doing. So this could possibly be an easy pickup for the Republican Party. We go in here and look at their candidates. We have quite a few people running, but the one that I think personally is going to get the nomination is Ashley Callis, or Calouse. I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly, but Ashley Calouse. She is endorsed by the Rhode Island Republican Party, and she has an interesting history. She was actually a former kickboxer. No, she was just a boxer, and she was this really famous boxer, apparently. I never heard of her, but I was reading up about her for the video. And she's actually a very famous boxer. And she is a solid candidate. She's running a pretty moderate campaign, especially she's like socially, she's pretty much center. Like she supported COVID vaccine. She supported the COVID vaccine. She's like, not really making COVID a big issue. But she is running a big campaign about inflation, because inflation has hit Rhode Island very hard. Energy independence, bringing down the cost of living. And so, well, on social issues, like abortion, gay rights, she's pretty moderate, but she kind of has to be for Rhode Island. Rhode Island, I mean, yeah, it's a socially conservative state, but it's not too socially conservative. It's kind of just because Rhode Island, like I said, is very weird politically. So she's running a campaign for the state. Like I said, she's a little cringe. Like she's like supporting the COVID vaccine. She said she won't mandate it, but like she's supporting people getting it, which I mean, I guess fair enough. Now that's not the end of the world as long as you're not going to like mandate it. Considering the fact that Dan McKee has mandated and he has put some pretty strict lockdowns on Rhode Island, which is another reason that the state might be in a bit of an issue. And that's it. Even in red wave years, if we go back to some previous elections back in 2014. Rhode Island was Gina Raimondo, who was a very popular governor. She only won by 4 points. And during red wave years, such as 2014, when Rhode Island it gets pretty competitive. Raimondo only won by 4 points. If we had a 2010, and actually an independent one. So Rhode Island is a very independent, very, I guess, center, it's a more moderate state compared to the rest of the Northeast, which usually tends to elect Democrats, as you can see here, except they have a couple more moderate Republicans now. But on the presidential level, the Northeast is very Democratic leaning. And so because of that, Rhode Island's a lot more pragmatic. I think that we have a serious shot at picking up this race. And not to mention Alan Fung, who is the former mayor of Cranston, and he ran for Rhode Island governor twice in 2014 and 2018. He's running for U.S. House in the 2nd District. And Alan Fung, he is running a great campaign, and he is a good candidate for that district, and he is getting a lot of Republicans to turn out. So even if, say, some Republicans may not like Ashley Callus because she's more moderate on social issues, Alan Fung, being in the second district, running a great campaign, getting a lot of Republican voters energized, and he's well known across the state, and he's running, he's going to energize Republicans just as much as Ashley Callus. And obviously, as we can see here, Dan McKee is not well liked. I mean, look at this. Only 38% of Rhode Islanders approve, 43% disapprove. And this is in a Democratic-leaning state. He is the most hated governor of all the incumbents. He is the least popular incumbent governor. And so because of that, I think we have a serious shot at picking up this race. Obviously, there's been no polls conducted thus far. Everyone has it as solid and likely D. But I would not be surprised if, we get a couple polls coming out in the next couple months or so that say, the race might be competitive, especially after the primary takes place. And maybe maybe people actually start looking into this race. So it's just interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, we're still pretty far out, but just something I've noticed that this could possibly be a Republican pickup, or it could just simply be a very competitive race. So with that, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like and subscribe for more.